Hello colleagues, it's Steve Sumner here. I'm just recording a how-to video in terms of how to use screen capture and then upload documents onto YouTube so that pupils and other people can see it. So first of all, I'm working from the assumption that you've read the excellent guidelines that Dave and Charlie made and that Kev has sent round, and that you've already got screen capture downloaded, and it's this icon here, and then when you click on it you'll get this border around your work that you can see here and on your screen. And it's now about what you want to put in that screen. So I'm going to go to my files and I want to go through some work with students about unseen poetry, questions 1 and 2. And so I wait for my PowerPoint to come up, and I want to do this as a full PowerPoint, so I'm just going to keep it like this, but this also enables me to go and look at some other Word documents if I want to, if they're helpful. And what I'm going to do is I would say to students something like, this is your do now, here are a series of questions. I might point to a couple of key words that I've indicated or things like that, and then the second slide here is the answers, but I would say, okay, now I want you to pause the video for 5 minutes and just stop from there, and then get that idea that the student can then look at the do now tasks later if I'm doing this as a lesson. Now the reality is, of course, some people will cheat, but that's okay in my opinion, because all they're doing by that cheating is actually gaining some knowledge, and that's kind of what we want to do through this process. Now in terms of the PowerPoints that you show, this is just a follow-up one that I was recording from a Year 11 lesson that I did yesterday. So when we look through these things, these are just all sort of helpful activities and tasks. I've also uploaded this onto Go for Schools so pupils can follow it, and I'd sort of talk them through as we were doing it, various pieces of documentation and work. I think overall this kind of recording will probably be most useful for doing a variation on whole class feedback as opposed to trying to share completely new knowledge, but I think let's be guided by see how it goes. I think it could be a really useful tool for pupils to use, and it gives us lots of access. So say I've spent an amount of time recording, I'd advise that you don't pause with things, because what will happen is if you do ESC it and pause it, what will happen is that it will stop, and myself and Dave have had to look at this and there doesn't seem to be a way to restart it once you've stopped it, so you'd have to kind of stitch together 2 or 3 presentations, which isn't very convenient. So make sure you're in a place where you can't be interrupted. Make sure you've got a good idea of what you're going to say, and you probably want to aim for each video to be between 5 and 10 minutes long, because otherwise they'll take an awful lot of time to upload. So I think it's that sort of sensible professional balance. Obviously I think making sure that in terms of any documents you might have open, that you've got documents and email and web links only attached very much to the presentation that you're doing at the time. It's very easy to have a Word document open which might have something compromising or personal, particularly in terms of the students. Just even having Sims up in the background and suddenly a student's phone number is visible if they paused in a certain way is really unhelpful. So when you feel you've got the sense of your recording, you've got everything done, then you press ESC, and when you've pressed ESC, then a sort of another range of options come up. So when you've pressed ESC, it stops. You'll then be invited to save it, and then when you save it, then you can start to upload it to YouTube. So save it as a video, that will be the option that you've given, and again that's in Kev's guidance really nice and clearly. And this is our YouTube channel, so Samuel Ward Academy, and then when you want to upload something you can create, and you can just upload your video here, and then you go to select file, and here is perhaps wanting to say this for years, here's one I've made earlier, so I just upload this. This was only a sort of 1-minute sample one. I think in terms of how we label these things, year group, subject, topic and teacher is probably going to be the easiest and clearest, and then I could tell pupils a little bit about this just in here. So this is the whole class feedback relating to the work set on, let's say, 20th March. And I think just also tying in things like those deadlines is really helpful to pupils. You want to scroll down and go, yes, it's made for kids, and then we can go next, and then next again. We'll have these as public, and then we can publish it. And then we can close it, and the video is published. And as you can see, other colleagues are starting to upload things as well. Here's the first one that I'd uploaded. Various screen recordings, people sampling them, and of course, if you're not happy with what you've done, you can delete it. So if you go into options, delete forever. I understand that deleting is permanent, can't be undone. And then delete it forever, because again, just give yourself a chance to practice. I think the more people practice with this, the better. So delete forever, we don't want that one. But as you can just see around here, you can extend the screen as and when you wish and really make this something workable. I don't think, like everything, this is, anything this is perfect, but I think this is a really good solution. And I think actually when things get back to normal, this will be a really helpful tool for our pupils and our teachers.